I want to talk today about subject-verb agreement. Most of the time we catch ourselves when we're speaking, something doesn't sound right if the subject doesn't agree with the verb. But in more complex sentences, it's easy to lose sight of whether a subject is singular or plural, especially when there are words or phrases that come between the subject and the verb. For this reason, I tend to try to get subjects as close to the verbs as possible and place modifiers usually before the subject so that I can make sure that my subject and verb are close together, and therefore it's easier to determine if they agree. But let's take a look at the following sample of student writing and see if we can't spot the subject and then determine what the verb is and figure out why they lack agreement and how to fix it. So here's the original. The mental and emotional instability of the main characters are mirrored by the chaos in the author's life. Now, subject, it seems a bit hard to identify. There's a lot going on in the opening part of the sentence, but the verb, I'm pretty clear, is right here. It's the word are. Now the subject, I have to go back, and at first I might be tempted to think that main characters are the subjects. They're right there next to the verb, but if I go back a little further, I notice that main characters is actually part of a prepositional phrase, and this prepositional phrase is actually describing the word instability. It turns out instability is my subject. Mental and emotional are just modifiers describing this instability, and of the main characters is a prepositional phrase that additionally gives me more insight into the subject. So I notice that instability is a singular subject. We're not talking about instabilities, plural. We're talking about just the general instability. And I notice the verb are is plural. So I know right away that I have a lack of subject-verb agreement, and I want to straighten that out and make sure that with my singular subject, I also have a singular form of the verb. So this is, again, a pretty straightforward revision. It's not going to require a lot of major surgery. I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste, and then I'm just going to replace are with is. And so now I have the mental and emotional instability of the main characters is mirrored by the chaos in the author's life. And I am happy because I have made my subject agree with my verb, or vice versa, my verb agree with my subject. And I'm done.